Hi, this is Graham Helfrich, Technical Advisor Manager for the Engineering Software here at IHS Markit. Welcome to the weekly Did You Know episode, where we learn how to do something of value that you probably didn't know about your IHS Markit engineering software. Today we're going to discuss one of the biggest gifts an engineer can receive: more time in your day by having your well data ready for you to analyze when you launch Harmony. Now, I speak with thousands of engineers every year, and I'm always surprised when I hear that some people are still spending time importing their well information from spreadsheets, not only for their initial well analysis, but also when they want to update their interpretation of a well. We all suffer from wasting time passing data around, but thankfully, Harmony Enterprise can let you directly connect not only to your production history, but also to other well information, such as your wellbore dimensions, your petrophysical parameters like your porosity, net pace, saturations, initial pressure, etc. Connect to your fluid properties, including your measured PVT data, and really any well attribute that you have stored on a database. In fact, this is a list of the well information that you can import to Harmony Enterprise automatically and avoid the time spending manually entering it or bulk importing from spreadsheets. Now, hopefully you're hearing this and realizing how much time you and other engineers actually spent manually entering this information into Harmony, and how much more time you'd have if these details were loaded with one click or as a weekly or daily update into Harmony Enterprise. It's all possible. I'm going to show you how. Now, a few requirements for you to enable this import include that the data source has to be an ODBC based data source or multiple data sources. Another fact that's important to know is that this data import, it's read only from your company's database. We don't write anything, so there's no danger that Harmony Enterprise can corrupt your database or your data source. Another fact is it's very likely that you're going to need a database administrator to help you get this set up, and they will need you to explain which well details you want and where they're stored within your company. Another fact is we do have a pre-configured import to get your well information and decline parameters from Aries in the Harmony Enterprise. Now today I'm going to be showing a quick high-level look of the setup process to connect your well data into Harmony Enterprise. But at the end, please look for a link for a more comprehensive 20-minute tutorial on this process. I'll include the link within my LinkedIn post and in the YouTube description. If you need more clarification on connecting your data to Harmony Enterprise, you can contact your IHS account manager. So here I am in Harmony Enterprise, and I'm going to go Import Database Connection. Okay, this pop-up screen includes a link, and what this link does, it'll take you to our online help file, which is an excellent resource for more details and questions about this. Going next, we can make a new connection, and we can look and browse for our data source. Now in this case, I have a sample data source that has well history, wellbore data, well attributes, fluid properties. In fact, you can find the sample database in the installation of Harmony Enterprise if you want. Okay, so that's my data source. Going next through the wizard, this is a bit of a tip for some of the mapping. So if this is an Aries database, a lot of the mapping is pre-configured. In your case, it's very likely you're going to have to do custom mapping, and that's what we're going to do here. A schema is another option where you can have a custom tailored table on each user's computer that will help map the import from your data source. But I'm going to be using the custom mapping today, which is probably the most powerful. So what we see here, these are the names which Harmony Enterprise uses and recognizes. And to the right here, we have the incoming source data with your data that has its own names and terms and units potentially. We need to map those and configure those together. So we're going to define the source data here. This will be my production history. And on the right, we see some of these various units and fluid volumes that we can configure and import and define. So I'm going to start with the well key here, And again, I'm defining the incoming source data to match with what Harmony Enterprise is expecting. So I can look at my gas production rate. I'm going to pick that from my incoming data and define it here. And when you can change the units of your incoming data if it's different than what Harmony is expecting here. So we can do this for each of our fluids. Well information is where we can have other attributes such as the field name, the formation name, things like that. Probably the biggest bang for your buck is to import your production history. And the next is your wellbore descriptions, which will include your tubing size, tubing depth, etc. So once you define all these, and I'm actually going to just give you a little preview, I'm going to be using the pre-configured views which match this particular data source I'm bringing in. You can see a bit of a preview of what this may look like if you connect as much as you can, including fluid properties, wellbore descriptions, and other well attributes. So this is an example where I've done all these steps to show you what will happen. So going next, if you want, there is a filter if you want to paste, for example, a bunch of API numbers to kind of narrow down the wells that you want to import. I'm going to skip this filter. And this is a bit of a preview to see the well production history that we're about to import. Okay, so going next, we have some options about how we want to treat incoming data if these wells already exist within my Harmony project, if I want to append or overwrite the data. And there's some other options when we overwrite, if we want to do the entire history or just the most recent 90 days. One thing I really suggest for RTA users is to enable this automatic SAM phase calculation. This way, whenever you bring in new rates and pressures to append for a well, it will automatically update the bottom hole flowing pressures within Harmony. Now, something that's available as well if you're on the full version of Harmony Enterprise is to schedule automatic updates of your production history from your data source into Harmony Enterprise. All right. So we're going to start the importing process. Now, I've skipped ahead. You may realize it takes a little bit of time to do this initial import. It's quicker later when you're doing the updates. So here we've got some of the wells I've imported just as this example. We've got their locations here. We can go to attributes and see some of the attributes we brought in. But the really interesting stuff is, of course, going to be under the analysis tab where we can see our, for example, fluid properties that we've imported. Gravity, petrophysical parameters, net pay, porosity, all these things which you would normally manually type in, be spending that time. So imagine if you had this automatically all loaded for you when you open Harmony Enterprise. That's what I'm showing you that you can do. Going to our wellbore, we can see that we've got our tubing size, our tubing depths, our deviations are entered here. This is again another huge time saver over manually entering this in for each well by each engineer. Go to a different well. Again, we see that well's unique wellbore description, that well's unique petrophysical parameters, fluid properties, etc. So that's a quick overview. So what does this really mean for you? Well, the first thing is efficiency. I find most engineers spend half of their valuable time importing or passing data around. But instead, if you can work with your IT or your database administration team to set up this import for your well data into Harmony, you're going to be able to focus on analyzing your wells and not wasting time getting your data in. The second thing this means for you is Harmony as a repository. So your well information like completion details, fluid properties, wellbore diagrams, production history, it's likely currently spread out among many databases and spreadsheets, PDFs. Harmony Enterprise can be your repository, not only for this type of data, but also your calculated bottom hole flowing pressures, which Harmony will do for you, as well as your decline analyses and your RTA results. All of that within Harmony Enterprise. So some next steps that you can take if you want to take advantage of what I've just shown you here today is first check out the 20-minute more detailed video that I'm going to provide a link for in the description, and also chat with your IT team about getting the ball rolling with this and contact your account manager for any other questions. And that's it. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, give me a call or email and subscribe to be notified of next week's Did You Know episode.